All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another college video, and another video in my road to the NBA draft series. Today, we're going to talk about Kansas star Darryn Peterson. We're going to talk about his game versus BYU and other top prospect AJ Debansa. He only played half of this game that I'm going to refer to a lot, but in that half, I was so impressed. This was the first game I really sat down and watched him. I had watched him previously a little bit, like have the game on in the background, but this is the first one where we knew he was going to be playing. We knew that it was a big game against AJ Debansa and BYU. So if you like what I say, like the video. If you have your opinions, comment down below. And if you like the vibes, consider subscribing. So we're going to talk about this game versus BYU that happened last weekend. Um, he only played half the game, which is unfortunate, and we'll get into the reason why he only played half the game. But in that half of the game, I was so impressed. I was so impressed with this kid, and everybody's been, people hype things up on the internet, and they're like, I kind of put this off watching Darren Peterson because everybody was like, this kid is so good, he's gonna be the number one pick. I was like, let me watch Boozer first, let me watch AJ Advancer first, and then let's get to the guy everybody's hyping up, right? That thinks is gonna be the number one pick. And from what I saw, I thought maybe like Boozer or AJ Debanza had a chance, right? I really thought they had a chance to go number one. Watching this kid Pearson, he's the number one pick. I have to agree with the internet and the consensus that he is the number one pick. He does have some injury concerns, some stuff like that. But watching him, I'm gonna get into what I saw. But watching him, I hadn't seen a college player make it look so easy in a very long time. And to go through some other um drafts like top threes and stuff that like maybe like could jog my memory about somebody making it look that easy. Um, we'll go down the list here. 2025 draft, Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe. None of them made it look as easy as Pearson. Peterson, not Pearson, Peterson. I was used to saying that. Peterson. Um, DP, we call him DP, Darren Peterson. Um, 2024, Zachary Rusase, Alex Arvid, Shepard. Nope. Victor Wembanyama, I guess just because of the height, maybe. Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, that's all 23. No. 22, Paulo, Chet, Jabari. Eh, mm, 21, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley. Maybe Cade gets close. Maybe, maybe, maybe Cade gets close. That's 2021. That's a long time ago now. 2020, Edwards, Wiseman, Ball, um, maybe Ant, but Ant wasn't even like a finished product. It wasn't even considered like it wasn't even like definitive like he would go number one. And then 19, Williamson, Morant, Barrett. Yeah, no, no. Maybe Zion just because of his like his body type at the time. Yeah, maybe. And then you get to 18 here, and this player didn't even play in college then, but I'm not comparing him to him. I'm just saying how easy he makes the game look. How easy Peterson makes the game look compared to this player. As sort of relatively the same age. Luka Doncic in 2018. Um, I think this is the second time in my life, well, not my career doing this, like just in my personal free time going through drafts and now having this channel going through the drafts, that I saw Pearson play. And I was like, it looks so easy. Every shot looks so easy. Even the tough shots, he's not nervous. He's not like he'll pass the ball, but he's like, okay, let me examine the shot for like at least like 2 seconds. This person's closing out on me. I can get this off faster than they can close it out. And even if they do close it out, I'm just gonna hit it anyway. Um, he has that Luka Doncic like I just make it look easy. Every shot I take is a good shot. Even the bad ones, you're like they hit the rim. No air balls, no backboard, no nothing. Just it's either in or it's rim. Um, and that's saying a lot because Luka came in as a pro player and Darren Pearson, 19 years old. Um, Yeah, he makes it look so easy. So easy. Heading into this game versus I'm gonna give you some stats first before and some actual like concerns I have. I have no concern basketball wise about Darren Peterson. Let me put that right on the table. I have no concern. Just watching the one game and watching bits and pieces of highlights and other games I've had on in the background, I have no concerns about him fundamentally, mentality wise, um, at any level. He plays at all three levels. He's a three-level scorer already at 19 years old. Um, he shoots 49% from field goal, 43% from three-point range, 80% free throw shooter, and effective field goal 59. And this year, in 12-game sample size, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, the 12 games is slightly concerning because his team, Kansas, the Kansas Jayhawks, um, have played closer to 20, 24, 22 games. So he's missed essentially half the season with different injuries and things like that. And that's the only real concern I have about Pearson here is that he, yeah, I don't know if it's just like you have to get him around the right system, the right people, and the right medical staff to get him fully healthy. He seems to just have like these knickknack, like um, cramping, like sort of unrelated to like structural injuries. Like he hasn't like done any major damage to his body, but like cramping, stress injuries, straining, that kind of stuff. That stuff kind of worries me. Um, but he doesn't rely on his athleticism. He relies on his shot. He relies on getting to his spots. And for what it's worth, a lot of people, and I don't think this, but a lot of people have been comparing him to Kobe Bryant. And I don't think that's fair to put on Darren Pearson. I think that's sort of that's shooting for the stars. That's like on his best days, if you squint your eyes and you like picture him in like the purple and gold instead of the blue and red of the Kansas jerseys, you could see it. You could definitely see it. I saw it for a minute, and then I was like, I had to lower my expectations. Like this kid's not going to be Kobe. There's maybe he will, but like right now, as of 19-year-old, I'm like he's not Kobe. And then I started thinking of more realistic comparisons, and I was like, you know what? He reminds me very, 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 very vividly, and this is a compliment, of like Brandon Ingram of the Toronto Raptors right now, and Devin Booker, who I'm a huge fan of, on the Phoenix Suns. Those guys have been in the NBA for such a long time, and Darren Peterson already looks like that. He's NBA ready. He's NBA ready. That's not a hot take. Standing at 6'5", 205, um, guard. So like he's a two. He's not a one. He's a two. You're gonna have to play him as a two. Maybe get away with him as a three if you have a good defensive two. Um, I like everything I saw. Everything I saw was electric. Every shot, every read. There was some catch and shoots moments in there in this BYU game that I really liked. Um, and even without him, and with him, the Kansas Jayhawks are 17-5 and the third in the Big 12. 11, they're ranked 11th overall, I think, yeah, in the nation. So really good stuff for him. Um, in this game, in this BYU versus Kansas game, Kansas won this game 90 to BYU's 82. AJ DeBansa did not play well. That's neither here nor there. Where this video is not about AJ DeBansa, it's about Darren here. And Darren, in only 20 minutes, 18 points, 6 of 8 field goal, 3 of 5 from three, 3 steals, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Um, every one of those points was money. It was great. Again, there were some catch and shoot moments in there, so he can catch and shoot. He doesn't need to dribble the ball. He doesn't need to get a couple dribbles in. I think he prefers to get a couple dribbles in before he shoots it, but he doesn't need to necessarily. And I was just impressed with the height on his jumper as well. When he would get into the mid range, when he'd get a couple dribbles, maybe turn, maybe fade, or maybe just rise right up. The height, he got off his feet and it just was wet. It was money, and it came within. I don't want to say it didn't feel like he was hijacking the offense, and maybe that's just a case of like him. I don't want to say on a bad Kansas team, but a team more catered to him. Um, Not having as much talent around him as maybe some other people, or even draft prospects of past drafts. Um, him just getting it within the flow, and it never felt forced. Never felt like maybe sometimes it felt forceful if it was like the end of the shot clock or like they were on a run and he just wanted to like heat check. Maybe it was forced that, but throughout the course of the 20 minutes that he did play, um, it never felt forced. It never felt like he was hijacking the offense. It felt like the coach wanted him to do that exact thing, and he did it. And that's something I can totally get behind. If he's going to get drafted and a team knows that that's what he does, and that's well, they have to know that's what he does, but they're going to build the offense around him. He's not going to have to fit next to anybody. It's going to be a complete, this is your team. Maybe in some scenarios, which we'll get to in a minute, you have to play with a star, an established star or two. But you are the young star. You are the guy on this team. We're gonna make sure you get as much development that you need, even more, and hone the skills that you already have. And that's just scratching the surface of Darren Peterson. Um, Let me see here. Let's see. Let's see. Any other stats that pop out at me here? Um, Takes like 4 free throws a game, or attempts five, makes four. That's really good. Um, can I look at? I want to see. Oh yeah, so here are the counting stats. Um, for the season, he's taken 81 threes and made 35 of them. A little improvement. Just a little improvement. Um, Taken 89 mid-range shots essentially and made 49 of them, right down the middle. Brilliant. Um, and he's played only 327 minutes. Um, Not great. I if you take him, you have to understand that maybe he's not going to be healthy his first year. But once he gets in an NBA system, gets around professionals, gets looked at by professionals, gets the nutrition that he needs, gets all these other things they need. That I'm not saying he doesn't have at Kansas, but is going to be more accessible to him at the next level. I think he'll be fine. The only thing you do worry about is like the stress of some of these injuries. Like we've seen an uptick, especially in the NBA, in calf and hamstring injuries, and you're like, if he's having these cramping issues already, and like he's having these stress injuries already, these strains, these pulls on certain areas of his lower body, then you grow a little more concerned, like, oh, I don't know. But if you can look past that and maybe you say, we'll monitor that situation, um, then you could possibly get away with like taking him. And I think any team should take him, quite frankly. I think this is regardless of what happens next month in March with the national tournament. I think you take him because he is the best player, and he has proven in such a small sample size that he's a great player already. You sort of akin this or link it to, in my mind at least, the Kyrie situation when Kyrie was at Duke, and he was projected to go number one, and he had all these concerns. And he only played a little bit of sample size of the season, but you knew he was number one. In the sample size that you saw, you knew he was number one. I think you can compare Kyrie to Darren Peterson in that way that like I don't care how small the sample size is, this kid is great. And if it turns out bad, then hey, it turns out bad. But we took the best talent at that moment in what is it going to be in the summer, and you're okay with that. This next summer, and you're okay with that. Um, Going through some of the other games here throughout the season already. Um, yeah, why they put these backwards? I hate when they do this. ESPN puts their stats backwards, so like their most recent game is at the top, but like I get it, but like show me like we should could reorganize it. Anyways, dating back to last year, beginning of the season, um, just running through the numbers real quick. Um, 21, 22. These are points. 21, 22. Um, oh damn, 21, 22, 17, 17, 26, 32, 23, 16, 26, 16. 18, 19. And there are only three losses in here when he plays. So when he plays, he wins. Um, and the biggest highlight thus far of his career has been the 32. That was on the 6th of January in an OT game versus TCU. 32 points, 4 turnovers, not great. 1 block, 1 assist, 6 rebounds, 13 or 15 from free throw. That's crazy. Um, let's see. 37% from three. That was one of his worst shooting night, one of his down shooting nights from three, and 44% from field goal in 32 minutes, and that was tied for the second most minutes he's played all year. He's the last game he played 35, and that's now the highest he's played all season. So yeah, moving on to the NBA stuff, the NBA side of this. Um, NBA trade deadline has passed. If you haven't been paying attention, if you want to check out my NBA trade deadline stuff, I'll put a card in the top right corner. You click it, it will take you right to the video, and you can watch my reaction and me explain all the trades and everything like that. Um, that being said, some picks have been moved around, um, and it hasn't really affected the draft order, but it has affected some of the teams that maybe got off some star players, maybe are going to try to tank a little bit harder in the second half of the season, and maybe could move up. Because right now, Tankathon has Darren Peterson as the number 1 pick, and unfortunately, he's going to Sacramento. Um, just as a preference, I don't think this is gonna sound so bad. I don't think any of these players deserve to go to the Kings because the Kings are so bad at managing talent, and I don't think Peterson, Boozer, Devanza deserve to go to Sacramento. They should end up somewhere that's actually going to take care of them, actually wants to see them grow and nurture them and put talent around them that's actually going to fit. Um, I would hate to see Darren Peterson in in a Kings jersey. That would be so disgusting. Um, looking on the bright side of that, if he does go to Sacramento, it's just gonna be him. He's gonna be able to shoot. He's gonna be able to do whatever the hell he wants, play whatever way he's gonna play. I don't know the coaching situation. It's probably gonna be in flux. They might get somebody better in the building besides their current coach. If he does have to play with the current coach, God help him. Um, moving on to the other more the brighter spots he could go. Um, if Atlanta jumps up, I could see him in Atlanta. Um, could I? Yeah, no, I could see it in Atlanta. Yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Yeah, because then Dyson Daniels gets to come off the bench. You're starting Nikhil Alexander Walker and Peterson. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, with all the talent they already have. Yeah, I could see it. Um, I think one of the crazier ones that I think is my number 1 destination for Peterson is the Pacers. Him and Tyrese and um, Pascal Siakam and Vincent Zubac after the trade deadline. Amazing. I think that'd be a great. The Pacers got rid of Benedict Mathurin, so you have to worry about that. They have the other spots filled, and maybe like at some night Peterson could come off the bench if you need that. I think that'd be good. Him ending up in Brooklyn, I don't really love that. They have so many guards. They don't need that, and they got Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. and Pearson. It would be disgusting. Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, yeah, no, I don't like that. Now they're building a. Apparently, they're building a super team over in Washington. They have a lot of talent. If Washington gets Peterson, that would be crazy. That would be insane. That would be such a huge jump from this year to next year with the talent. Oh my, that'd be crazy. Um, and then another one I find slightly interesting. Um, the Jazz. Eh, eh, I feel like there's just so much going on in Utah right now. They need a season where they stay around where they are right now, which is projected at 6. Take somebody who's going to fit in. You don't have to play them right away if you don't want to, um, and just let this group play together. This newly constructed Utah Jazz team, or at least that the projections have, um, I think that'd be better than them jumping up to 6, them jumping up to 1, because then it's just like, okay, we got this young guy. We have 2 back-to-back really high draft picks. We have Keontae George. We have a defensive player of the year, Jaren Jackson Jr. We have Laurie Markin, an all-star. We have Walker Kessler, who's coming back off an injury, off a shoulder injury. That's so much. That's so much to like readjust to in such a short period of time. Even though I think the Utah wants a number one pick, I don't think. I think maybe if you get like AJ or something, or Cameron Boozer, whose father Carlos Boozer works in the Utah organization. Maybe that works out a little bit better. Probably the only hope I think is that Utah jumps up to three and is able to take Debansa, and you're happy with Debansa because he fits a little bit better. And then the last one here, well, there's two more here that you could really get interested in. Um, the Mavericks, Dallas. I think anybody in Dallas, any of these top three picks in Dallas would be cool. Even Cameron Boozer would be cool. Um, I like that. Now here's an interesting one, and we'll see how the tank goes, how the tanking goes. The Grizzlies, the Grizzlies. I think for the Grizzlies, if they do jump up even into the top five, that'd be a blessing. If they jump into the top three, that would make this rebuild very quick, and you could be a good team again in like 4 years if you get one of these kids. If you get Pearson, Boozer, or Debansa, that'd be really good. Very quick turnaround. If you're the Grizzlies, you take the best available. You take the best available player. I don't care what the fit is. You take the best available player. And then lastly here, we'll get to 10. Why not? We'll get to 10. Because that pick, the other pick after 10 is it's crazy. The Bucks. I think the Bucks. If you're able to get one of these top picks, like let's say Washington stays at 4, not Washington. No. Who am I thinking of? If Atlanta's able to stay at in the top 3, and Atlanta goes to Milwaukee, it's like, hey, we'll give you a top 3 pick for Giannis and whatever filler you need. You do that, and then essentially you swap your pick with the Bucks, so the Bucks keep their pick, and they just have a top 3 pick. You take the best available. You take any of these kids because they're going to change your. It's going to be the quickest turnaround. It's going to be a good turnaround for Giannis, and it's good value for Giannis as well to get one of these 3 guys. I'm not saying any of these guys are going to be Giannis, multiple time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, multi time All Star, but they could be around there. And then the last one here, the Blazers. The Blazers are so stacked with talent. I don't think they need any of these guys. I mean, you take it if you get it, but I don't think you need any of these guys. So yeah, my top destinations for Peterson would probably be Atlanta, Indiana, Washington, Dallas. Yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, yeah, that'd be it. Yeah. I like those four. I like those four. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. Yeah, that's it. That's the video. I just wanted a quick little shorter video for you guys. I know the video's been hella long recently. Um, we will be getting back into your regularly scheduled content next week, a little bit, and then we have a little bit of an all-star break. I do want to do some look back on my preseason predictions, see what I got right, see what I got wrong so far. Um, some more, maybe no, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the only thing I've planned right now. So yeah, this is a pre-recorded video, so if anything has changed between this is only gonna be 24 hours between when I record this and when I put this out. So hopefully nothing has changed too much. But yeah, I would say just to close up the video again, I after watching all these guys at least like 3 to 5 times, and watching them in like big game matchups, um, I agree with the order they have it in of the top 3, where it's Peterson, Boozer, and Debansa. I think that is the order they should go in, not regardless of who has the pick, but of talent wise. Um, I think Pearson, he is going to be an amazing scorer. He's going to be such an amazing scorer. Boozer is going to be such an enforcer, such a downhill threat, like, like just amazing. And Debansa is a little bit of everything. I like Debansa. I think in a world where like if I'm a weird one of these weird teams and I jumped up to 3, like if I'm the Nets or the Wizards or the Grizzlies or the um the Blazers here, I would take the Bands. The Bands is a little bit of everything. I like that. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. Um, if you like what I've say, like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Um, it's the middle of the NBA season right? I can't believe we're already here. We're about to get into March Madness next month. It's been a crazy couple months. Just talking about the NBA, talking about the WNBA, talking about all this stuff. I always appreciate you guys watching. Um, and yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.